So we would like to review the story component of this class, which is when we look at things like simple algebraic expressions, like 2 plus 3 or 3 times 5, we should interpret these in reasonable ways, right? So for 2 plus 3, we might think, I don't know, guys, what's the story that goes with 2 plus 3?
2 pizza plus 3.
Like that. Yeah. Okay, so somebody, Steve, orders 2 pepperoni and 3 sausage pizzas, right?
Yeah.
So initially they're not like terms, right? Then we might write a question that elicits the response 2 plus 3, right? Which is, yeah, how many pizzas
Steve has gout. That's what he has.
Yeah, and then, you know, the answer is 2 plus 3, and also Steve gets gout because he's not eating any vegetables, right? So these are the kind of stories we want, right? So when we mean adding, we mean put in some reasonable, right, some reasonable motivation to group these things as like terms. So here they were kind of unlike terms, which justifies my 2 plus 3, right? The story I shouldn't write is Steve has 2 pizzas and Steve has 3 pizzas. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Like, that's just nonsense. Why would you say that, right? So I need some reason that they're kind of unlike terms and then some motivation for them to be like terms. When I think about multiplication, how do I think about that?
You have 3 houses and each house has 5 zombies in it. How many zombies are there?
Very nice. I think that might be exactly what was on the original. Yeah, so here we need to kind of think groups and things in each group. Right, so there's this kind of there's actually one of these that goes around on Facebook every once in a while that people get all up in arms about Common Core. Because there's a indicate with a picture what 3 times 5 means. And a kid has not done the groups of things. They've done things and groups. And it's marked wrong. It's not the same thing. It's the same number of objects, right? So by 3 and 5, what I mean is I have 5 things, and 5 things in 3 groups, right? That's subtly different than the story that motivates this thing, right? You guys see that? The red is really about 5 times 3. Yeah, these are the same number, right? But the story motivation is different. So when we're asking students about stories, there is a motivation to say, that's not quite the right thing. So if I was writing a story for this thing, I would say something like, there are 3 houses, each house contains 5 zombies. If I was writing a story about this thing, I would say something like, what was our other really stupid one? Pocket ducks? There are 5 Jedis, each with 3 pocket ducks. Or there are 5 houses, each with 3 zombies in it. You guys see that? This number of zombies is the same in both cases. But the method that got me there was a bit different. You guys see that? So if you're going to write a story and you want to flip these, you really should say, this thing is that thing, and write a story about that thing. You guys remember I was sort of allowing you to do some of that when we were writing stories? You could simplify the expression a little bit and then write a story about the result instead. But you should spend that time telling me about the simplified version. You guys want to do a slightly more complicated story? So what if we did 7 times 2 plus 1 minus 3? Okay, so again, the point on these is to write a story about this object as it stands, right? So what do I think when I see this?
I think you have like 7 groups of like 2 plus 1.
Okay, so I think here groups
And then things in each group.
and things in group, right? And then out of this guy, what's this minus 3 represent in your head? Yeah, take away 3 things, right? Or anti-things, right? Anti-things is usually the result of poor storytelling on my part, but it happens, right? We have occasionally run across some anti-chickens in this class because we did stupid things in writing our story. So we should conjure up a story that has a reasonable takeaway, right? Okay, so how do I have 7 groups and 2 plus 1 things in each group?
You can have like 7 benches, and each bench has like 2 women and a child on it.
Sure. You guys see that? Okay, so to write that, I would say there are 7 benches. Each with 2 women and 1 child. So that sort of motivates my first bit, right? My 7 times 2 plus 1. What's a question I would ask to motivate 7 times 2 plus 1?
How many
Yeah, how many
people are there?
people are there? Children count as people still, right? Yeah, close enough. How many beings are there?
We should have done that.
Okay.
How many beating hurts?
How many beings?
Okay. How do I motivate takeaway 3 here?
They leave or die. They just
We are not going to be killing women and children specifically in this.
Take them away.
So
We're gonna be non-violent.
3 of them leave. Yeah.
3 of what leave?
Children? Or 3 women leave. Yeah.
3 children have to go to school. To learn Common Core. Which actually is a good idea, by the way. No, I keep saying that. Okay, what's my question that I ask now to motivate this?
How many people?
How many people are left on the benches?
Yeah. How many people are on the benches?
Three child have to go to school.
3. Check.
Okay, I'm not.
Yeah, again, it doesn't have to be a Pulitzer Prize winning story, right? Just something.
30.
Cool?
That'd be something I would hella do. 3 child leave school.
We should also remember what division means.
You're splitting up stuff between things.
Yeah, so division, remember, is, so if I was to divide 5 by, wow. Let's make a number I can draw. So if I was to think about a story for 7 divided by 3, what would that story look like?
You have 7 groups of things, or you have 7 beams. and you're
7 things split amongst 3
Other things.
groups.
groups, right? So I might say we have,
7 beams.
yeah, 7 cookies and 3 kids, or $7 trillion and 3 bloated government programs to fund, or whatever, right? Really.
Oh,
So whatever things split amongst whatever groups, right? So 7 cookies are to be allocated, oh, that was a big word. Split. Split was the word I wanted. I wrote allocated for some reason. Equally to 3 kids. Then what's the question that I should write to motivate 7 over 3?
how many?
does each kid get?
Yeah, how many
Child.
cookies does each kid get?
That's a lot of cookies. Yeah, someone's getting.
Someone's gonna.
Yeah, like 2.5, 6, 7, 8, 9.
Cool? Questions, concerns?